Welcome to another episode of Sam Bids Live. And this is a special episode. And it's special because it's been a really long time since we've done one of these episodes. But if you are new here and you're not familiar how we've done these episodes in the past, as you can see, I've got SAM.gov pulled up on my screen. And we try to go through 3, 4, maybe 5. It really depends. Different solicitation opportunities, break them down. Make it easy for you to understand what contracting is asking, and maybe even tee up a little bit what they would be asking for in your proposal. Again, if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel, and certainly hope you will be hanging out with us today, again, on this special episode. So I will go ahead and just pull up my SAM.gov screen. And I'm already logged in, but just going to find opportunities for today that look interesting. Cemetery operations, counseling services for Kenyatta community schools. This is another cemetery, but it's cemetery tree work. So we'll see. Should be fairly straightforward. What else do we have? We do have a couple janitorial just coming up immediately. And if you guys just joined, welcome, good morning. We're doing a special episode of Sam Bids Live. Feel free to drop down a comment. Where's everybody from? Where are you guys from? Where are you joining us from today? Security guard services. I think that's enough. I just did a quick grab of five different opportunities. This first is USAFA cemetery operations. Not exactly sure what that's involving, just based on the title alone. So we will dive in. This is due August 18th. This is for the Air Force. This is small business set aside. They are using the 561-730 landscaping services NAICS code. And they're saying this is U.S. Army United States Air Force Academy, Colorado. Poverty, Cesar, good to see you, hanging out with us from Louisiana, representing Louisiana this morning. Travis Martin is in contracting. And for solicitation docs, we have PI instructions. Looks like this is going to be a PI submission. We can see where this link is going to take us. So they have an amendment issued and just clarifications. So we're probably going to pass on this one just because we don't want to go through PI. So if any of you have been actively working in PI, how's that been going for you as more solicitations are being put through the PI system? The next opportunities for counseling services. Kenyatta Community Schools due August 19th. Small business set aside. 621330 NAICS code. Michael Drinkwater in contracting. And we just have one attachment solicitation document. And it's only 20 pages long. Good morning, everybody. If you're just joining us, what state are you joining? What state are you representing? Let's get the states on the board here. So this is RFQ. Again, this is counseling services. So interesting. Kenyatta, Arizona. Oh, there we go. The chat's just popping in. There we go. Enrique, Delaware. D'Amica, Texas. I'm so Houston, Texas. Cinematic Brothers, New York, Queens. Nice. Let's see. Dinosaur out of Kansas. Nate Ritchie, Florida. Awesome. Nate, I think you got a call booked with us this morning, don't you? Good morning, guys. So the POP on this is actually today. So this, and they messed up the year. So they're saying 8/15/2025. So we already know that this is still being solicited. The due date is, what did we say, the 19th? This is going to be extended. And the completion is absolutely going to be extended because I'm not sure if they're meeting 2026. I'm pretty sure that they are because they're just calling it a base year. Nice. Yeah, Nate, you'll be meeting with Lala this morning, so you'll be in good hands, man. Cinematic Brothers has the book. Awesome. Where's my book? I should have my book handy, but I don't. Good morning, G, out of Dallas, Texas. Recognize the profile picture. Cashing out with Nisi. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying necessarily to always avoid Pi. I'm just saying for the live, it'll just slow things down a little bit because I just want to try to get through as many opportunities as I can. So, but yeah, fair enough. So they're giving us pricing CLINs here, just counseling services like CLIN 001 base period. From what we can surmise, just 1 year. Enrique, do we all just want to get rich and successful? I mean, yeah, why not? And then they're just asking us for a grand total. So contracting officer, see, this is something I can point out, I can show you, right? So we saw Michael Drinkwater as the point of contact. Zoom in a little bit more. So on the SAM.gov, in the listing description, so Michael Drinkwater, so you would assume Michael Drinkwater is the contracting officer, but when you get into the solicitation doc, you can actually see Michael Drinkwater is the specialist and Brandon Walker is actually the contracting officer. So typically, guys, whether it's a single POC or a primary POC listed in the listing description, this is usually contracting specialist. Usually the officer is either secondary or in some instances, they're not even listed because they are focused on other things. They're just the ones who are essentially going to sign. They're able to obligate government funds. Michael Drinkwater, if he's a specialist, he would not be eligible to obligate government funds. So if you're talking about developing relationships, this sorts of things with contracting officers, that's really Brandon Walker. That's not Michael Drinkwater. However, you should absolutely do both. Miles, have you seen the contracts like this that may still show that EO 14 applies when it probably shouldn't? I see a lot of boilerplate and copy and paste stuff all the time. Good morning, Roland. Good morning, Woody. Roland out of San Antonio. A lot of Texas folks this morning. And Woody out of Georgia as well. Nice. Invoicing instructions. Not going to worry about that too much right now until we win the contract. And we have our flow down clauses. Guys, it has been a minute, hasn't it? It has been a minute since we've done a SAM Bids Live. And many of you are new. Many of you are like, SAM Bids what? You don't even know what a SAM Bids Live. But we've got like 60, 70 episodes from about 2 years ago. I definitely recommend. They're all in a nice playlist. And it would be nice to kind of start doing that again. Reps inserts, still scrolling here. Master of multitasking. Domino Effect Orlando, ARW Solutions. Good morning out of DC. With the true RFQ, request for quote, as this is, we find ourselves to the instruction to offers on page 16 of 20, all the way at the back, section L. Instruction to offer. So number one, they're saying quote format. Quoters should submit 2 volumes. 2, technical and price. This should be a great example. Maybe I'll even clip this. No past performance contract. Right here is an example. You don't need past performance. They're not asking for past performance. Quotes should be submitted in PDF format. And at a minimum, include the following. Technical. So written narrative addressing the technical factors of capabilities and key personnel. And they're literally like, I'm liking this, not just because, it doesn't ask for past performance. That's fine. That's great. but they're telling you exactly what they want, and then they're actually backing that up. So that here they're saying capabilities and key personnel, and then right below it, they're expanding on what they mean by capabilities and key personnel, so that you can actually put together a pricing package here along with your technical that might win. I mean, somebody's going to win, but you can actually put effort into it because you know exactly what they're asking for. So for capabilities, they're saying include information on the capabilities of the company as it relates to this requirement, including experience of work that, okay. All right, guys. Including experience of work that is similar in size and scope. Doesn't that sound awfully a lot like past performance? So we won't use that as a clip. And they're not having you break this out into 3 volumes of technical, price, and past performance. They're just asking for technical and price. And by the way, when we say technical, we mean past performance. We mean experience of work. Crazy. This is why you have to read. For key personnel, include information that will be working under the award, including their experience, education, certifications. They could just come out and say they want a resume, but instead they have to say experience, education, certifications. But isn't that exactly what a resume is? I would say so. What do you think? Domino effect. I've won a contract thanks to your teachings. Holy smokes. That is incredible. Congratulations. I hope it was a big one. And if it's not a big one, because chances are it might not be big, I hope that you're making at least a decent chunk of change on it and working on more wins. Love that. Love that. Guys, give some cheers to Domino Effect 4 in the chat on their recent win. And guys, subscribe to the channel. I don't know. Go check out my channel. I know I was out of pocket a little bit. I was dealing with some health challenges, but our channel got hit by the algorithm hard, very hard. Our channel's been around for 6 years, guys. 6 years. Much longer than a lot of these other channels that have been popping up over the last couple of years. But we need subscriptions. We need to tell the algorithm that our channel needs to get back out in GovCon universe, into the GovCon multiverse. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It means a lot at this time and stage. For evaluation, government will award a firm fixed price purchase order based on what's most advantageous to the government. Price and other factors considered. And then they're saying the following shall be used to evaluate quotes. So the government will evaluate the quote based on a company's capability to organize staff, manage the contracts. Again, guys, this is counseling services for community schools. Counselor. They want resume. They want experience, i.e. past performance. They just have one base year for pricing. And it's probably just one base year because they want to see if you're good or not. The government will consider qualifications and experience. So they're putting a lot, and the government may consider past performance, right? They're putting a lot on the resume that they haven't said the word resume, but they're alluding to and painting a nice picture for us. Experience, resume, past performance. Contractor shall submit a complete all-inclusive firm fixed price in its quote. Absolutely. And then their statement of work is literally just over 1 page. And they're saying the contractor will provide one-on-one and small group counseling for 13 students, 30 visits from school year 2025 to school year 2026. So when you go to price this thing, okay, you got a resume, you're doing your key personnel, you're doing your technical approach as they've asked, and then you're just essentially filling out, I think I passed it. It's so small, it's so easy to pass. You're just filling out Okay, you got your SF 1449 form right here. This, your pricing claim, pricing summary. Putting a price in there, grand total there, filling out the SF 1449 form, doing your reps and certs at the back, and then doing your technical which will include capabilities and key personnel. That is your response. You're going to have to be competitive on your price to win this thing, but they do want good resumes. So you might be able to beat out a low price if you have a really good resume. And most importantly, my guess is, my big guess is that they already have somebody doing this. So you do want to ask contracting if there's an incumbent. Because if they do, you're competing with them. Yes, cashing out with Nisi. Yes, guys. Congrats to Domino Effect for their win. For Demolition in Minnesota, that's solid though. That's past performance. That's money. Yes. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Microsoft Edge. I use it because I used to use Chrome and it would always crash when I would do these, actually coincidentally, when I would do these SamBids Live episodes. So I never really had that issue with Edge. But it's not like a strong recommendation. It's really more so like what works for you. So next, we'll just keep the train rolling. Black Hills National Cemetery tree work. This is for the VA, so we'll see. SDVOSB set aside. Again, 561730 landscaping services. April Graves. So we have statement of work, pricing sheet, maybe an amendment or something, maybe a map here, and then the solicitation doc. Let's look at the pricing first. So when you go to price something like this, tree removal, this is per each. So they're saying if it's 65 feet or higher, what is it going to cost for trees like that? If it's 60 feet or higher, what's it going to cost for trees like that? And it's tree and stump removal. Okay, it's not just the tree, but they're also breaking it down by species: spruce, pine, ash. Then they're also giving you the location on the site. So, we don't know the quantities. It says estimated quantity here, but then they didn't give us anything. So this would be per each. So just for one for each of these. Not too bad. Straightforward pricing. I like it. When was this due? September 5th. STVOSB. They're referencing the price schedule, what we just looked at very quickly. They do have a pre-quote site visit August 20th. That's coming up. Highly recommended for something like this. And you'll probably get more of an indication of the quantity of trees just for your subcontractors, your teaming partners information. They're going to want to know that. Because my guess is you're not going to fully be self-performing something like this. You're probably going to be working with a local company that does this. And the good news is why I like contracts like this is there's always tree companies around. Not always, but like they're usually around. Even in small towns, they exist. So for your quote, all quotes shall be submitted into 3 different volumes. This time, it's volume A, administrative, which is going to be consistent of your company information. And acknowledgement to these FAR clauses. Volume B is your technical proposal. So for this, they want you to provide a work plan that includes a number of employees provide an arborist license to make sure you have somebody qualified on this project, and then provide proof of experience with tree work, including a list of prior landscape contracts or agreements, etc., including the dollar value, period performance, etc. So if you are teaming with a company, you will more than likely be leaning on them for those strong parts of your Volume B technical proposal. And then the Volume C is going to be that attachment for the pricing breakdown. Pretty straightforward stuff. Evaluation factors. Government will say factor 1, price, lowest price. Factor 2, technically acceptable, pass, fail. So the way that this works is whichever company has the lowest price, so they're going to go to the lowest price, very, very lowest price that comes in when they go to award this. But they're not going to stop there. They're going to check to see if they are technically acceptable. If they are awarded. If they're not, then they're going to go up to the next lowest price, so a little bit higher price. And then they're going to check if they're technically acceptable. If they're not, they're going to go up again, and they'll just keep going up until they find the first company with the lowest price that is technically acceptable. So it's not the lowest price always wins. Even in LPTA contracts, you have to also be technically acceptable, which in this instance is price fail, pass fail rather. And that pass fail is going to be based off of this Volume B here, the technical proposal. So, competitors could mess this up, right? They might not provide the license. They might not be having great experience that's going to qualify. They might not, break down a work plan, demonstrating the number of employees, etc. And welcome, guys, if you're just joining us to a very special SAM.gov live episode, special because we haven't done one in such a long time. If you just hopped in, let us know what state you are representing, guys. And also subscribe to the channel because we are trying to revitalize the growth of the channel. Growth has slowed. The algorithm has hit us hard. We are doing the live today to try to reignite things over a period of time. And if you guys, actually, this is important. If you haven't realized, I've been posting videos every day, Monday through Friday. I've been taking weekends off. And I didn't do one this morning because we're doing the live instead. But since about a month ago, right around July 18th, I've been doing Monday through Friday videos. Actually, let me know in the comments. Have you been watching? Have you been seeing those videos? And if you're like, oh, I haven't seen Derek in a while, or I'm coming here from the email list. Guys, I am hitting it hard, putting out a lot of great content Monday through Friday. Also on the email list, I've been doing wrap-up emails every Friday to give you guys all 5 new trainings that I've been pushing out for the past month, or maybe a little bit longer than the past month. So definitely make sure, there's 20 videos over the last month. So lots of great content, latest and greatest stuff. And my plan is to continue to do that strong for quite a while because I'm really trying to revitalize things here. And I'm getting to the point to where my health condition and my breathing is a bit more manageable. You might see me talking a little bit more slowly and taking pauses, but I'm not having to take as many deep breaths and things like that. So for those of you who know what's been going on with me, that's kind of what's going on with that too. But yeah, guys, we need all the blood in the channel flowing. So anyways, was there anything else? I think maybe now is a good time to keep things moving. Cool. Domino says, saw the email. Nice. Love it. I have the coconut shell. Welcome, welcome. And Hebrews, good to see you. Good to see you. I recognize some of your guys' your screen names here. Dinosaur, thanks, Derek. Hadn't realized you were doing daily videos. Going to keep an eye out. Yes, definitely. Monday through Friday. Enrique, nice. BW's information. No, but I will watch now. Love it. Good. I'm interested in procurement contracts. What's the sweet spot for profit margin? Could you do an example? Yeah, well, profit margin you charge the government is different than the profit you make on a contract. So profit margin, if you're on, I just did a video on this, actually. I just did a whole video on this. Maybe, let's see, am I going to get myself in trouble here? Yeah, we'll, did a video 2 or 3 days ago, and it's called "How Much Do You Charge the Government?" I was looking for the title. That's what I titled it. How much do you charge the government? Okay, so definitely watch that video. But in essence, for supplies, you're in the 10 and under club. You're going to be closer to 5 for the proposal part of it, and then for services, you're going to be 10 and over. So easy way to think of it: 10 and under, 10 and over. Pretty much tried and true way to go about it, especially when you're new. 10, 15, maybe 20%. For services, and then 5, 6, 7, for supplies. I'm not a big advocate of supplies because of how many you have to respond to and how high the competition is, and how many of you guys I see burn out and then switch to services or just give up. So I'm trying to save you a little bit of time and maybe just start with services, because you can also go after those base plus option year contracts too. But yeah, like I said, I go into a lot more depth in that video. How much do you charge the government? I just posted it a few days ago. So that's what I would say. Hailing from Maryland. Take Wednesdays off and weekends off. Love that. Rasta girl, Joanne. Hi, Derek. Long time. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. I don't recognize the screen name. You might be using a different screen name than before. But yes, there's a lot of us. Good to see you. I'm back to services. Supplies was too competitive. That's what I'm saying. And for all the people that are out there that are telling you to bid supplies, I'll just say it's an easy thing for them to say. It's not as easy to like dig into solicitations and write proposals, right? But those are also the things that keep all the piranhas out. You don't want to be where the piranhas are. You want to be with the big fish and the whales. So all this time you're spending, you're going to actually make more than $800. You know what I mean? Which is fine if it's your first contract. But, for a business, you need to make some money for a business. You can't be doing it all yourself, which means eventually you're going to have to hire help. You're going to have to be able to pay them, etc., etc. Hey, Ali, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. 23-1 Nation broadcast. Hope all is good with you as well. The supply is undoable. No, it's not undoable, Enrique. And you can get lucky. It's just usually there's small margins, and you have to bid on a lot of them because there's a lot of competition. So next we have Cabello Ranger District Janitorial, due August 25th. Department of Agriculture. At least we're getting variety of agencies in here. We did Air Force, we did VA. Now we're doing the DOA. Small business set aside. Again, 561-720 janitorial services. But this is straight janitorial. This isn't like tree cutting or whatever. So they want cleaning twice a week. Twice a week. Kathy Bosch. So here we have wage determination, statement of work, solicitation, and then just that's a 1449 form, or so it appears. And yeah, guys, I don't look at any of these ahead of time. So I literally pulled them up at the beginning of the live stream and we just roll with it. So no pre-planning. And I started doing these episodes like a few years ago. If you don't know, because I really just wanted to demonstrate like fluency and proficiency when it comes to reading and extracting from solicitations. Because guys, these things can be 20, 50, 100 pages long, right? As you know. And so many of you new government contractors starting out, you're like, oh my gosh, where do I even get started? Am I going to read this thing? You're not going to read it page by page, line by line. So I try to highlight and show you like where to go, what's important. Sometimes we'll talk about proposal requirements. Sometimes we'll talk about forms, just stuff to like get you going. Because there's, I haven't found many great resources. So we tried to create a great resource by doing these SAM.gov live episodes. So they are just pretty much as with the SF 1449 form here. They want this to kick off September 1st and go through 2030. So that would be 226, 7, 8, 9, 30. So it's 5 years. So base plus 4. And again, janitorial services 2 times a week, base plus 4. Pretty sweet. For the Department of Agriculture. You guys are funny. Yeah, so where were we? So yeah, that was just the SF-1449 form. Wage determination, we'll leave that for now. Let's look at solicitation. They have it actually just in a Word doc, no PDF this time. This is 20 pages. So again, pretty painless episode so far. I like it. So we're immediately hit like page 1, right? Like pricing table, 12 months, unit price. So price per month is unit price, and then total price, which would be price for 12 months or 1 year. So that would just be base plus 4. The most straightforward janitorial pricing sheet you could ever hope for, especially for 5 years. Whoa, what's going on, Flo OG? I will read your comment in a second here. Thank you for the super chat. $5. Thank you. Yeah, I'll read it in just a second. Schedule notes. So one award will be made. Cool. Contracting is saying in the event of an error in extending the bid prices, unit prices will govern. Okay, so what they're saying with that is if there's something wrong with your calculation here, they're going to resort back to your unit price, whatever your price per month was. I mean, I guess it's fine. RFQ, complete your reps and certs, register in SAM, it's free. They make a big deal of saying it's free, don't pay thousands of dollars for somebody to register you in SAM. Anybody here on the live pay somebody thousands of dollars to register them in SAM.gov? I hope not. Again, they're giving us the address now. So Cabello, California, 2,000 square feet, again, twice a week. The office meeting areas, they're carpeted, and they have 2 bathrooms. So this is not going to be like huge. 2,000 square feet, like think of an average sized house. That's what we're doing here. And then we have submission of offers. So register in SAM.gov, technical price proposal, and then reps and certs is part of the response. And then technical proposal is going to include past performance, technical capability. It's going to provide list of equipment, key personnel. And when it comes to janitorial contracts, very often they're going to want to see like eco-friendly products. If not part of the proposal, they may ask us as a submittal if you are awarded the contract, what are you going to be cleaning with? We see this a lot with janitorial, especially the last couple of years. And then for your price proposal, they want you to fill out the price schedule that we saw and acknowledge any amendments. And then do your reps and certs, and then just submit that over to Mary Bosch. And that's it. For the evaluation, it's going to be technical, past performance, and price. And this is actually more of a trade-off, best value trade-off. So technical and past performance, when combined, are more important than price. Okay, so the lowest price, even technically acceptable, will not win you this contract. What will win you this contract is having a really good technical and past performance. When combined, they're more important than the price. So the government is saying, hey, we will pay more. We will pay more than the lowest price to have somebody with really good technical and past performance in their proposal. So again, this is a great example for those of you guys who kind of complain a little bit that it's always lowest price. It's just not true. Maybe you're just looking at the wrong contracts, or maybe you're not understanding something, because there are lowest price contracts, but there's also contracts where the lowest price will not get the contract per se, right? So they want you to fill out your vendor name, UEI. Let's check so what did Flo say? Hey, Derek, stop by to support. Thanks for connecting with me last week. Oh, Flo, that was you on the call last week. Nice. Yeah. I'm going through your flagship course, getting my ducks in a row. Awesome. Love it. Yes. Thank you for the super chat as well. But yeah, it was great connecting with you. And now I can put a face to the name because I know you've been a supporter of the channel for a long time. So love that. Roster Girl. Me is Joanne. Okay. Gotcha. Probably switch it up to services because supplies made you give up. Unfortunately, I hear that a lot. Just call me solo. Random question. I'm in the Air Force Reserve. Can I start a GovCon business? Yes, you can. I get this question actually a lot. You have to go to your legal office. A lot of people have this question that are in the military in some form or fashion. Is there a conflict of interest? Does OCI exist? That can only be answered if you're in the military, and some of you in the military are probably on right now and could help out. Just call me solo. When it comes to OCI stuff, you have to, I'm assuming that's what you mean. You have to speak with your legal office because it may be, I've never heard it being a straight up no. Okay. But it's like, you may not be able to go after opportunities from your agency, or you might just not be able to go after opportunities from your department. So it depends. And there's no way that I or anybody could answer that for you except for your legal office. Do you have info on IRS hiring appraisers? No, not really. It's kind of a random question, to be fair. Have contracts decreased given closure of federal building employees? It's hard to say because it's happened so recently. But all the doom and gloom and scare. And I did a couple of videos at the beginning of the year, not to be doom and gloom, but just to let you guys know, be aware of what's going on, right? But some people were making that and actually still continue to doom and gloom, say like SAM.gov is dead, like all this nonsense. You have to be on a GSA schedule nonsense. So there's definitely been like things shifting around, right? Look at what happened with the Department of Education. So there's definitely been shifting things around. There has been some contracts go from federal to state because state has been given more power. But at the same time, we're looking at seeing the simplified acquisition threshold raised to over $1 million, where it's currently 250. So what's that going to do for small business contractors, right? So it's hard to it's a hard question to answer because the answer is always going to be limited because it leaves out so many other factors. Because really what we have to look at, what is going to be the net? What is going to be the net effect? And there's so many factors up in the air. I don't think anybody could give you an honest, true answer about that because we have to wait for the dust to settle. But in the meantime, just as we've seen in the chat here today and, many others, contracts are being procured and contracts are being won, every day. So we're focused on bidding on contracts and getting up to speed to bid contracts. And, business hasn't stopped. So we don't want to put overemphasis on things. We just take them as they come. That's life, isn't it? We just take life as it comes. Reps and certs, covered telecom. It didn't go to $1 million yet, but it's actually looking at going above $1 million. But I don't recall the exact number. But when it goes into effect, best believe I will make a video on that for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of talk about it right now. You can subscribe to QuickBooks if you want to, but make sure you have transactions. Make sure you have stuff to run through QuickBooks. Otherwise, there's not going to be any point. And you don't need QuickBooks desktop. You can just get QuickBooks Online. But when you win a contract, would be a good time. Work with an accountant, get QuickBooks Online, get plugged in, and then as you win more contracts, you'll already have the stage set. So this is again, we've kind of been lucky this morning, but pretty straightforward contract for this one. Again, Ranger District Janitorial, 5-year contract. twice a week, 2,000 square feet. Pretty standard out of Covelo, California. Yeah. If you have an ethics department, yep, that's a good idea. Check that out. Unarmed Security Guard Services, Oklahoma, Department of Energy. Guys, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you have been a viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, this is a great opportunity to make it count while we are live. 561-612 security guard NAICS code, small business set aside, like it. There's one amendment. The submittal requirements in the award selection process under subfactor B technical approach is a mouthful, from 2 pages to 4 pages. Okay. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hey, Bevy, good to see you. It's been a minute. We're back at it. Leroy Lamar in contracting. And for our attachments, we have experience data sheet, wage termination, statement of work, solicitation amendment, and Q&A. We haven't seen any Q&As yet today, so I'm going to cheat and I'm going to start there. In all seriousness, Q&As can tell you so much about a requirement without even having to not without having to, but before even diving into the actual solicitation. So what are some of the questions? Remember, these are questions from companies like you, from potential competitors. So the first question is, can you provide a breakdown of the alarm monitors and guard staffing? Remember, this is unarmed security guard services contract. Would need, didn't even use proper English. Would need the breakdown of how many alarm monitors and hours a day for correct pricing. But contracting was nice enough to answer, this requirement is for security guard services. I was kind of thinking that too. Why are they talking about alarm monitors? This requirement is for security guard services, and the specific needs are outlined in the statement of work. A breakdown of hours for specific tasks is not available. Alarm monitoring involves observing the cameras and doors from the facility. They are patrolling and responding as necessary. So they're kind of saying, do you really understand the statement of work? Go back and reread it. That's your competition. And so maybe not a great question, and would need, not using proper English, okay, just lets you know that maybe they're not the most professional folks in government contracting. Number 2, is there a vehicle required? Nope. Number 3, also, the statement of work states, so look, we're seeing also, we could guess that it's the same company as here. Statement of SOW states 24/7. However, the staffing just sets 1600 to 800 Monday, right? So 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. The answer was the goal was to reduce the current schedule of 24/7, 365 to only 24 hours a day on weekends, holidays, and snow days. Normal weekdays would just be 16-hour days. So they're going to exclude the day shift because they don't need security guard services during the day. Makes sense. I mean, I think that's pretty helpful, actually. Another question. I would assume we will just build a supervisor into the rate for service. These are unintelligent and unprofessionally written questions. Contracting answers. Pricing is per month inclusive of all charges for this requirement. Is there an incumbent or new contract? There's a smart question. Is there an incumbent, or is this, again, I think it's one person, guys. I think it's one person who's written all these questions. Because these questions are just poorly written. But it's actually the smartest thing this person has said. I'm totally roasting whoever this is. Answer, there is an incumbent, but that contract requirement is changing. And the new contract has new hours and a new statement of work. So they're saying, here's the current contract number. We can try to look that up. Cherokee Nation, good luck. They currently hold the contract. You're going to try to steal this from Cherokee Nation? I don't think that's going to happen. There we go, Cherokee Nation. So June, May, and again, sorry, I'm getting ahead of everybody. I just went to fpds.gov, okay, fpds.gov. I took the number, the current award number that contracting asked. This is the best question. Is there an incumbent or is this a new contract? And then you plug that into FPDS. Some of you know this though. And then it shows you the award details behind the scenes. So July 25, May 24, May 25, June 25. So we've seen a lot of activity this year. And we have purchase orders 1, 2, and 3. And then we have what looks like maybe like a base period with the action obligation of 730,000. And then these purchase orders are subsequently 62,479. And there's 3 of those over May, June, and July. So they're doing one a month pretty much. It's possible that their contract has ended and now contracting is just paying them per month to keep them on until a new award is issued. I don't have a lot of concrete information to back that up, but I know that definitely can be the story sometimes. Why is it doing this? Okay. So for the total contract is actually 1.6 up to for all base periods. Option mod in accordance with FAR for, yeah, they're saying for 1 month. So good job, Derek. Good job, me. I was right. They're just extending 1 month. They're saying total, well, for this, it'll be 1 received, of course, but yeah, if you guys don't know Cherokee Nation, definitely check them out. So yeah, you can do this. If you didn't know that you can do this, you can. You just need the award number. Due to changes in Doge's operations, the government underwent significant downsizing and is now hiring contractors who may lack the necessary expertise. I've had some not so good experience with them. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So you're saying the government went down, significant downsizing? They sure did. When you say the government, that could mean a lot, right? For example, a lot of contracting left. It is now hiring contractors who may lack the necessary expertise. Yep. Oasis, how can I bid for a P6 scheduler on construction projects with my LLC? I'm not sure I understand the question. How can I bid? You just bid. I'm not sure if you're saying you can't find those. That's a pretty specific type of requirement. So I'm not sure how to answer that one. So we looked at the Q&A for that. And guys, if you just joined, we're doing a special Sam Bids Live, and especially because we haven't done it in a while. Okay, so security guard services. Boilerplate. Okay, SF 1449. We do see actually November. Okay, so they're looking to do another 5-year contract, kickoff in November. So they're giving themselves between now and November to either displace Cherokee Nation, but they'll probably keep doing those 1 months until then, 62K every month. Which is also interesting, right? Because it's showing you what they are paying. So that's some really good incumbent pricing intel. The government's paying 62 grand every month. So that helps you with pricing this requirement. But they're saying, keep in mind, the scope has changed, so you can't just take it. They're giving us 2001 and 2002. They're giving us actually two different CLINs for each. It's like two different tasks. It says unarmed security guard services in accordance with the statement of work. And then it says unanticipated office closures. So they're basing this off of 12 months and then 40 hours. So they want to have a separate bucket of money, a separate CLIN. And they're doing that for base and all option years, which is giving you twice as many pricing CLINs, but it's just because they're separating out a bucket of money just for the unexpected office closures. What do you guys like to do when you I imagine you're doing other things. Are you at work right now? Are you making breakfast? Are you at the gym? Ooh, are any of you at the gym? I would love if some of you guys are watching this while you're working out. But are you cooking? Are you working? Are you cheating at work? Are you supposed to be working, but you're paying attention to this instead? What are you guys doing? There's over 30 of you consistently on right now, which is incredible. Reps and certs. What are you guys doing? You driving? Maybe if you're driving, maybe don't answer. I don't want you to text and drive. Site visit information. Okay, so they're actually letting you visit the site, but what are we really going to see for security guards? I'm not sure. We saw, guys, that this is over $1 million contract. They're doing over 60K a month. So they're going to be more scrutinous, more specific in their proposals. This isn't going to be a short request for quote. Factor 1 technical, they want the required certs, which is sub-factor A. They want to see a certificate of authority from Oklahoma Council on Law Enforcement, Education, and Training, CLEAT. So that's if you're not providing somebody part of your team who has that, if you're not working with a teaming partner that has that, you just aren't. You just ain't. Subfactor B, technical approach, basically what conforms to the statement of work. They're being very, very vague about that, very boilerplate. Submittal requirements for your technical approach, whether or not a subcontractor will be used. Okay, so they want to know. Then they also want a staffing plan. They want to confirm that guards will meet the requirements in the statement of work. Method for scheduling guards, approach to onboarding. So this is great because each of these becomes a section of your proposal. Each of these bullet points, you literally, you copy and paste it. And, we don't have the other stuff pulled up just yet, or not just yet. We're not going to do it at all, but not today anyways. We don't start proposals with blank sheets of paper. Look, I've had Word open for 2 seconds. It's already not a blank sheet of paper. God, you're going to make me do it, aren't you? You have your cover page. You have your cover letter. You have your table of contents, right? And we can just reference, table of contents, insert, automatic, saying we don't have nothing yet. So this is factor 1 technical. Factor 1 technical. We can give it that heading. So now that it has a heading, update our table. So now our table of contents is starting to grow. So So factor 1 technical, but we also have subfactor A, required certifications. So we'll have to put a heading on that too. Okay, so that's filling out nicely. So essentially this is everything. And I want, like, it's okay to do this to like keep yourself on track as you're going, because you're going to like delete this stuff out, right? But it's like a really good practice to, oops, not A, B. It's a really good practice to just pull this as you're going, technical approach. Because then it makes, you don't have to bounce back and forth as much when you're actually trying to do the proposal. We're heading 2 on that. Subfactor C, prior experience. I'm actually just going to delete this stuff out now. Prior experience. And this way we're staying compliant. We're keeping things in the proper order, the proper sequence. That. And then we can break this out, because it's like, okay, the government will evaluate whether your author possesses the required license, permits, and certifications. Cool. Submittal requirements, required certs. Provide proof of the following. Okay, that's going to be important. Certificate of authority from Oklahoma law enforcement and training cleat. This is going to be pass-fail. Okay, so like this is basically what they're asking for. This. So provide this in subfactor A. Subfactor B, the government will evaluate the feasibility, clarity, and effectiveness of the offer's proposed technical approach. That's fine. Specifically, let's cut to the chase here. Provide a narrative no more than 2 pages describing the approach, including, here we go, we're taking it now. These were the things that we had. Now we'll break them out, because now we're not going to get lost in our own proposal. We know whatever we do within this section of the proposal, it's going to remain in the right place. We just got to make sure that we don't go more than 2 pages. As a reminder to ourselves. So we write to each of these. We use ChatGPT 5 as it, if we need some templates like staffing plans, you know, it's all going to be customized, of course. If you're working with a teaming partner, you're going to have to get, you know, CLEAT credentials, right, as they're asking for it. Method for scheduling guards. You know, a lot of this you can rely on AI for the technical writing. Risk mitigation, technical. Yeah, like a lot of this you can actually get from AI, and then the rest will be from your teaming partner. And you can even, you know, this is an outline that's slowly becoming a proposal, and this also can easily become something if you want to turn this into your own RFP, you know, let's say RFP, you can turn this into whoever your teaming partner is going to be, right? Due date, what's the date you need this to get back to you? 8/27/2025, right? So that way, what they're giving you, you're going to be able to turn around and make your changes and updates so that you can turn around and give it to the government. We don't ever just take something from a teaming partner and just turn around and give it to the government. You know what I'm saying? So this is just like a little mini lesson, little mini practice on how you can quickly stand something up, even if you're not a expert writer, even if you're not, like, this is compliant, okay? This is no fluff. This is exactly what contracting is asking for. This is the foundation. This is the basis of what a winning contract will be made of. We just didn't, finish it, of course. Helpful to some of you guys, hopefully. Oh yeah, I asked you, what are you doing? What did you answer? Walking. Love that. Enrique's at home working. Doing some work in the library while my house is being cleaned. Who's doing the cleaning? I'm doing this full time now, working on a response currently. Nice. Maybe this is a little bit motivating to watch the bids while you're working on your bids. COVID. I just sent 4 bids out while this was going on. Those must be price only bids, my man, and more power to you. But if you just did 4 while we've been on for the last hour, that's nuts. Or maybe they've been stuff that you've had in the works and you're pushing them out because it's a Friday. But hopefully you win one. Hopefully you win 2. That'd be awesome. Bevy's at work. Lala's at work. Rasta Girl's at work. You guys, you're supposed to be focusing on work. You're not supposed to be doing this stuff. But I'm glad that you are. Great session. I have to step into a meeting. See you at your next live. Yeah. Hopefully we can do more soon for sure. And we recently kicked off, which is really awesome. I'm not sure if any of them are on, but our mentoring and coaching just kicked off this month as well, which is much more intimate. We're on Zoom. We're doing a lot of stuff together specifically for their bids, their proposals, the contractors, the teaming partners. So in case you didn't know, maybe you haven't seen me in a while, if you are looking for mentoring and coaching, we have opened that up again. Feel free to email support@govkidmethod.com if you would like details on that. But I'm very excited to be opening and offering that again too. So yeah, we were just kind of slicing and dicing with this. So I think we can call that one good. We do have a bit more time, so we'll look for a few more to do. If you guys are good, you want to keep hanging out, probably do a little bit more. I'm still feeling pretty okay myself, so. COVID, yes, had it in the works. Okay, nice. Yeah, kudos, man. Hopefully you win. That would be terrific. Do you think that this industry will ever get oversaturated? Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to as this industry, because there's, every NAICS code is an industry. So federal government contracting, I don't think so. The particular industry you're going after, if you're going after a niche industry under a niche set aside, something like that could feel competitive, I would say. Walking, nice. I'm not sure if you answered this. I can only do these remotely. I'm located out of the country. I'm American. Thank you for doing these. Did I miss the question? Not sure what the question was. I can only do these remotely, but I'm located out. That's okay if you're located outside the country, but you're American, you're a citizen. You're not going to have any cage code issues. You're good. There's lots of people, especially in the military. They're stationed. And I think I saw a comment or an email from you recently asking this. Yeah. People do it, do it all the time, for sure. If the question is just, can I do it? The answer is yes. Which documents need to sign attached? It depends. It totally, don't apologize. It's just that every proposal is different. So that's why we do these. Well, I haven't done them in a long time, right? But I try to show you for the individual proposals, but it's like you have to learn, you have to see a lot to find where the common threads are. What is the common overlap? Because the form stuff, the proposal stuff, there is no, hey, can I just get a proposal template and I'll just use it on all my proposals? It doesn't exist. Like what will be a winning template for one will be a losing template for another. That's why you have to read and extract what they're asking for. Yep, 100%. Doing contracts when I'm remote? Yes, you can. Can you do this in the UK? I'm not sure if you're talking about UK government. I'm sure the UK has their own government. I don't know anything about UK procurement, but if you want to get an NCAGE, it's called an NCAGE code for NATO territories, participating NATO territories. If you're outside the US, instead of getting a CAGE code, you would get an NCAGE code. So that might be what you're asking about for the UK. I almost won a janitorial contract, but it came in just a little high a couple of years ago. I found that janitorial is almost impossible to win and make profit, so I mostly stay away from them. I have seen janitorial be a bit more competitive, but it also depends on how you're approaching it. For example, if you can hire some people direct, versus doing a full teaming approach on it, it's going to bring your price down and keep your profitability good. So a lot of times it's what is the approach that you're using for fulfillment. So what do we have? Process development, consultant support services. Document shredding, gotta love it. Ooh, vent cleaning. Okay, we'll do that. Process development, consultant support services. Due in a week. Health and Human Services, small business set aside, 541,690, NAICS code. Polina Klemenkova, Russian, maybe. So we have pricing, invoice, clauses, statement of work. We have valuation criteria and the solicitation doc itself. And again, guys, if you're hanging out with us, like the live stream, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so the algorithm can start picking us back up again, because we produce great content, no nonsense, no BS, transparent, blunt at times, but there's a lot of new GovCons that have what the channel has to offer. So your subscribing helps let the algorithm know that. So RFQ, simplified acquisition procedures. So this might be under 250K. A labor hour purchase order with options. The NIH is seeking executive level industry experienced drug discovery and development consultants with expertise in process chemistry development. Wow. To provide technical guidance to the following programs. They have an NIH Blueprint neurotherapeutics program. They have a process chemistry consulting for the Help End Addiction program. And they also have neuroscience focused drug discovery and development program. So they need consultants to literally give them like feedback and stuff. They're looking to kick this off September 20th. So in about a month, hopefully. Technical factor 1, price and past performance for the evaluation. They're kind of, telling us because they're saying technical requirements here. Technical factor 1. So if we were to go to our outline here, this would be, instead of factor 1 technical, it would be technical factor 1, because we're going to write it exactly the way that they've asked for it. So this should include resumes for key personnel, consultants, and any subs, as well as a letter of commitment from those key personnel. Is there any, I was hoping there's one person working out, watching this. Is anybody at the gym watching this? Or can you? I know we had a couple people walking, a lot of people working. I love that. Anybody at the gym? I don't know why that's just satisfying to me if somebody is. Business requirements. Quotas are required to complete attachment 4, a price template. Well, let's see what that is. It ain't rocket science. Contractor's name, fully burdened rate per hour, hourly rate based on 20 hours. And then optional rate up to 780 hours, or optional, but up to 780 hours. And then fully burdened total labor for 800 hours. And then they're giving you $1,500 for travel. For ODCs, other direct costs. And then just give you a few instructions here. So this is for consultants. That's why they're looking for per hour. Then how much would you charge for 800 hours of consulting? What is your charge for 20 hours? Stuff like that. Then they're probably giving us a little bit more information about the programs themselves, which I think are going to be super boring. So I do not intend to use our precious time together on boring stuff. It's actually more like statement of work stuff, so it's not that boring. Support, this is what you'll do. So I'm not going to read it, but this is what your consultants would do. The estimated level of effort, the LOE, is one part-time person. So they're looking actually for just one consultant, part-time. The required level of effort depends. It's anticipated that a minimum of 20 hours of support is required annually. Minimum of 20. And then not to exceed is 800. So that speaks and puts some more meaningful labels on the pricing that we were just looking at. Okay, and then $1,500 for travel is not to exceed. So contracts like this exist. You can go on Indeed, you can find a consultant that specializes. They're going to want somebody who really knows their stuff with this. And the government might be so happy to have them as a consultant. That's why they want that letter of intent. How did you get started in government contract? I got started in around 2013. So I've been doing it for around 12 years. And I started working at a small business. And the whole first year, I didn't even know what my job was. But then I went on to win 32 contracts worth over $15 million, climbed my way to the top. Towards the end, things got very, we'll say, toxic and a little bit hostile. I made the choice. I made the decision to leave. But in doing so, I had to sign a 2-year non-compete. So I was not able to do government contracting. And I still needed to support myself. So I opened consulting. I started a YouTube channel called the GovCon Method. And I've been blessed for the last 6 years to work with and support so many small businesses like you guys in the space. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Sid, I really appreciate the signed copy of the book. Yes, I try to sign as many books as I can. I sign them all personally. And thank you for getting the book. I hope that you love it. Hello from Brazil. Brazil. Love that. Cleaning my house, qualified home gym. I don't know. And Jeanette, I'll give it to you. I will give it to you. I don't know. I mean, cleaning is hard work. It's like a form of working out. I mean, definitely break a sweat for sure. Especially depending on if you have a bunch of kids. Are you looking for Napoleon Bonaparte? I know where he is. Do tell, where is he? But to be honest with you, I'm not looking. I'm not sure what that's supposed to suggest. 38 people live on us. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're still going to go for a little bit longer. Like, subscribe to the channel. Let us know where you're representing. If you're just joining us, what state, what country are you repping? get your location on the board here. Document shredding services. VA, due in 3 days. SDVOSB, 561990 NAICS code. The James A. Haley Veterans Hospital. Maybe some of you know that. So we do have a bunch of copy and paste inside the listing description. I'm going to pass over that and just try to go straight to the docs. So we have a PPQ, past performance questionnaire. We have several amendments. Solicitation doc. Yeah. The name of these files are not as obvious. Good old VA contracts. One of my least favorite to read. VA contracts, VA solicitations, one of my least favorite to go through. Always kind of, every single one, they use the same format. Okay, we have our pricing. Remember, this is for document shredding, 32-gallon containers. They're wanting a monthly price. Going to start September 16th. So they have different campuses with pickups twice per week, every 2 weeks, once per month. So it just depends on the campus. 64-gallon containers. And then once per week, twice per week, every 2 weeks, once per month, 95-gallon containers, so on and so forth. So they're doing the same frequency breakouts for 3 different size gallon containers for document shredding. Lots of document shredding in the government, okay? This is even something that you could like get into doing because you go on site, you shred the documents. Like you could just do this. You can make this your full-time job, going to different locations. You don't even need teaming partners. Just do it, you know, get the equipment, get a van. I'm not sure exactly what this one in particular is going to require. Shred the stuff, shred it. Because, you know, I say this a lot, but, you know, we like, for example, vent cleaning. You may not think about it, but, you know, there's so many like types of contracts that the government, they're just buying all of the time. And I know janitorial is one of those as well, but, you know, some may say it's a little bit more competitive. And I say it depends on your approach. But some of these others, they're a lot less competitive because people just aren't going after them. But the government's buying it all the time, all over the place, everywhere. You get 1 or 2 of these past performance, you can just start going after all these things. And they're not glamorous, but who cares? What do I say? I say, don't be romantic about the industry. Be romantic about the deal. Is it a deal you can put together? Is it a contract you can fulfill? Is it a contract where you're going to make decent money on? That's what we care about. Okay. We're just about there. Instruction to offers. Proposal prep. Charles Cross, thank you. He lives in Bordsley Green, England. Thank you for letting me know where Napoleon Bonaparte lives. I appreciate that. So 1, proposal format. Provide 1 copy. Volume 1, technical capability. Volume 2, past performance. Volume 3, pricing information. Guys, you see, we've covered enough today for you to see how typically the same stuff is being asked for. It's just how it's being asked for, or the way it's being asked for, is what differs. But that's what you can take away from this. They don't want your technical proposal to be over 70 pages, and I don't think you want your technical proposal to be over 70 pages either. That's a long technical proposal. Well, what's required in it? Well, they're telling us factor 1, technical capabilities, and then the sub factors. So they want you to have the NAID cert, the National Association for Information Destruction, this actual certification, because there's a proper process that you have to go about destroying this, which is why not just anybody can come and do this, which is why, say, you decided to just build a whole business off of, providing document shredding, document destruction to the federal government. You could, and it would make sense for you to get certified. You just go after these bad boys yourself, because you don't need a huge team to do stuff like this. Subfactor B, they want a manual. C, they want a quality control plan. D, they want contractor key personnel, including PM and a quality control person. They want a safety plan. They want limitations on subcontracting. If you're using subs, state how you will comply. And then small business utilization, just your information. That's all volume 1. That's why volume 1 should be more than 70 pages, because they're literally asking for A through F sub factors. But that's how you lay it out in your proposal. Lay it out just like I showed you a few minutes ago. And then you plug and chug. You use AI. If you're working with teaming partners, you use your teaming partners, plug and chug. Do a fairly decent job on your pricing, and you might be in the runnings. So volume 2 is past performance. They just want you to provide this info, so that is going to be important. There's also separately attached PPQ that we did see referenced here. Guys, I spoke with somebody last week, I think, because they were interested in the mentoring and coaching program, and they said, Derek, give me your cage code. I said, can I see your cage code? And I said, why? And the answer was essentially, well, I want to know if you're legitimate or not. And I was like, well, do you know my story? And they didn't really answer. Flawless watching, she's laughing because she was in on that call. And I said, well, that has my personal information on it, so I do have a right to ask why you want to see my cage code. They're like, well, if you don't show me your cage code, that kind of alluding to the fact that, like, oh, you're a phony or something. This is the PPQ, by the way, just standard straight stuff, and then you'll be rated. Well, your clients filling this out will be, giving it a rating. And then that will be sent to the contracting officer. And I said, do you know my story? I went through 2 contracts with over $15 million for a small business. Like, what I have a personal cage code, but primarily my personal cage code is so I can show you guys how to register in SAM and how to renew your registrations and do the administrative sort of things and log in and, do safe searches and, access your workspace, do NAICS codes, videos, all this sort of stuff. I mean, and it's like, oh, so you won't show me your cage code, so you must be a phony. And then this person went on to say, well, how do I know you didn't just use AI to write your book? And I guess the reason I'm sharing this with you, because it got to me, unfortunately I had a moment of weakness and it did bother me. But the reason I'm bringing this up in this moment is you can't fake reading, guys. You can't fake fluency. You can't fake a skill set. My book I wrote in a week, and I locked myself in my office, and blood, sweat, and tears in a week I wrote it. I mean, a lot of you guys know me. Umbrella strategy, 10 to 20, you're in the money. These are things that I've coined. These are things that I've made up. I don't parrot other people's stuff. I don't listen. I don't care to other people in the space. I don't, you know what I mean? Like my stuff comes from me. And that's why I can be so bold and blunt sometimes, because I know it's true and I don't care. And I get that there's a lot of new people that kind of come to the channel. But to say, you know, oh, you're a phony because you won't show me your cage code. It's like, well, I didn't say that I'm bidding contracts right now. And I know some of you guys, you don't even know me. I'm not bidding contracts right now. So I just must be like a big phony, right? Does a coach for an Olympic athlete, does that coach have to participate in the Olympics every single year to, you know what I mean? Otherwise, they're an uncapable coach. What about the $75 million over the last 6 years that the clients I've worked with have won, right? Does that not count for anything? It just has to be personal. So yeah, I'm soapboxing a little bit, you know, and I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but it's just, my point is, I'm tying this all back. Okay, I tie this all back. You can't do what I do on Sam Bids Live, which is why I'm showing it to you guys so that you can learn how to do it. You can't fake that. You can't fake skill. And I would challenge anybody else to, I do this slow. I can go through this in 30 seconds. You saw how fast I could tee up a proposal. You can't fake that. Like, it's because I've done it so many freaking times. But yeah, I've decided to grow a business so I don't have to do it every year of my life. You know what I mean? So I'll just say that for my own personal pleasure. And for any of you who are out there maybe watching that don't know me or don't know my story or skeptical about me, or maybe this is the first time you're seeing me, like, okay, don't make assumptions about people. Get to know their stories, get to know who they are, you know? And I have my whole story in my book, you know? And so unless you think AI wrote the book and my whole story is made up, you know, and one, you know, all the people I've dedicated the book to, one chapter dedicated to, look, mom, I did it. Like, yeah, that's all just made up. It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Seth, what's the recommended way to search for non-past performance contracts manually? You have to search manually. There's not a tab. There's not a navigation setting to, unfortunately, do that easily. But you can use like keywords. So you can look for past or performance and immediately, you know, smash that into the document in Control F to see if it pulls up or not. I've made more money with what you thought me than all my degrees combined. It's called phony money. If anyone thinks you're phony, then you're my kind of phony. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think that's the best kind of response. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, I've run coaching and mentoring for like the last 4 to 5 years, but there's so many people that haven't been in my programs, but have just watched the skill sets, Sam Bids Live and my other videos, and they just use that. You know, they just use YouTube University, which is fine. And I still, to this date, get emails, comments, and it's the best thing ever. People saying now they won their first contract or they won their next contract. So hard to fake that. What's your thoughts on David Packow's new War Dogs Academy? I won't comment on other people in the space, like what they offer, because I don't. I won't comment on what they offer. It's interesting. It's interesting to me. Here's what I'll say, okay? And this is what I'll say about everybody. I'll even, you know, here's what I'll say about everybody in the space who claims they are bidding contracts currently, and they are also offering some sort of program, whether it's coaching, mentoring, proposal writing, like whatever. If they're actively bidding and they're making all this money, why do they need to work with you? I've never found a good answer for that. Now, it's fun, you know, it's funny because I've heard the opposite. It's like, oh, well, you're not bidding right now, so you're not capable. I actually think it's the opposite, right? Because if I was bidding right now, why would I be offering coaching and mentoring? And sure, they have case codes and they can prove it, but why? Maybe they're not making that much money. You know what I mean? Like why? Why do it? It's a passion, maybe, but a lot of these people, they're just really cutthroat. And I know I'm passionate, and I've freaking made myself sick bending over backwards to help so many people in this space. So yeah, like I know I'm passionate, but I don't bid because I help others bid. If I were bidding, I would just be competing against them. So I think I'm one of the only few people who can actually say that, who also runs the programs to help people. But that's how I have time, right? If I was actively bidding and going after contracts right now, not only would I be competing with you, but I mean, like, what would be the point? Like, if you're making good money in government contracts, you should stick to that. Why would you go into education? I'm into education because I'm super passionate, like, about helping people learn, because I'm an extremely low learner. And those of you who are new to me and they don't know this, I had a hell of a time going through school. I had to ask a million questions. Okay. When my first year in government contracting, my boss tried to fire me, and I had 2 other people try to fire me at the company the first year. And then several others, engineers, other people from the military side come over that my boss would hire. And here's Derek, 25, 26, 27 years old, right-brained, creative kid, knows nothing about government contracting, but I'm just winning contracts. And they were not, because they're too busy on their freaking whiteboards and building out pipelines and playing around on Dell Tech, GovWin. Oh, forecasting, we're going to win, $37 million this year. Meanwhile, I'm out actually winning things, whether it's 70,000 or 210,000 or 750,000, or my largest contract was 5.5 million. So I have a disdain for that. Not only because it's a waste of time and it's people's way of justifying their jobs, but also because they don't get along with me, because I'm kind of like a black sheep. And I'm okay. I'm a black sheep in the space too. I got off LinkedIn because I was a black sheep, and a lot of people didn't like that I make it easier for you guys to learn this stuff, because they want to charge big bucks to even learn how to do what I show you here for free on Sam Bids Live. And they do that on purpose. I want to piss them off. I don't care. But that's how I spend my time up until I got sick, and I'm trying to come back from that. And as I'm back, I'll keep doing it again, and I'll keep ruffling those feathers. But for those other people, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, is that, and yes, I'm very consistent. I've said the same thing since ever. I've never pivoted. I've never changed my stance. You know what I mean? I've done one pivot early on when I talked about teaming, and I said, most of you guys are going to do it wrong, so you shouldn't do it. And some people took that to mean and used it against me many times, especially on LinkedIn. Oh, Derek, you changed. You said not to do it, and you said to do it. It's like, no, use your ears. I said, most of you shouldn't do it, shouldn't do teaming. You shouldn't do middlemaning, because you're going to do it wrong. Why? Because I know about something called limitations on subcontracting. You know what I mean? I know about something called the ostensible contractor rule, and how you have to not be that. You don't want to be overly reliant, overly dependent, because there's something called the legal pass-through schemes. But guess what? There's these loud voices that just grew like weeds on YouTube and in the space saying middleman, 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 right? So what did I do? So I did my one pivot. But it wasn't really a pivot, but some of you thought it was a pivot. And for those of you who don't read or pay attention or even have a brain, you think that I changed my stance. I didn't change my stance. What I said was, well, everybody's doing this. So what do you do? If the teenager is going to drink alcohol, what do? You send them to the bar. Like, you can't stop them if they're driving. So do you let the 18-year-old, or let's say 17-year-old, do you let them just drive around drunk, or do you have them drink in the safety of your home? I don't know about you. I don't know about your parenting style, but for me, I'd rather them drink in my home so that I know they are safe, so that I know they can, they're in their bed at night. They're not going to go kill themselves or kill somebody else on the road, right? And that's what it is. So if people are going to do middlemaning and they're going to do it recklessly, my pivot was, well, I'll teach you the right way to do it. If you want to do it, since I can't control you, I can't stop you from doing it, because, you have to do it the right way. And it's situational, it's highly circumstantial, but you can do it. And many of you guys do it, right? I wrote a whole book on it called The Legal Middleman Method. But that wasn't me pivoting. that was like, well, if you're going to do it, here's the right way to do it. After all, I can't control what anybody's going to do. And then when there's so many people out there telling you to do it recklessly, and they're saying do it without all of the stuff, that is reckless, right? So then I'll be like, okay, I'll be the one person who will say do it with the stuff. And then once I started doing that, there's been a few other people that say, well, do it with the stuff too. But it's still a very turbulent topic. And so, yeah, I guess I digress. But glad to see that you guys are still here. Glad to see that my truth hasn't scared you away. But yeah, if people are making so much money bidding contracts, I don't know why they're spending time to coach you. I don't bid contracts, so I build a whole business now and have for the last 6 years on coaching you. So I don't have anything to worry about with that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward to me. I'm passionate about education. I'm pretty good at something. I've got, excellent skill sets at government contracting. Why not use that to help other people? All right. Hey, appreciate you guys in the chat. Arlinda, Derek, you are definitely the real deal. I appreciate that. Brother, you are truth. Thank you. Thank you. Osas Williams. So true. James has been consistent. I have been consistent. I will say that for myself. I have been consistent. For small business set-asides, do you need a cert? Nope. Actually, I just did a video yesterday. Talking about your small business size standard and how you don't want to outgrow that based on the primary and secondary NAICS codes you're choosing for your business. You're putting in your SAM.gov entity profile. As you win contracts, you can outgrow these size standards where you will no longer be considered a small business, meaning you won't be eligible to bid on small business contracts under certain NAICS codes, depending on if it's 9 million, 13 million, or 28 million, right? So I did a whole video on that. But no, there was no formal process to become total small business. You just have to be small for whatever NAICS codes, which means dollar value, 3-year trailing average typically. But as I covered in yesterday's video on NAICS codes, can be 5 years, or it can be number of weeks you've been around times 52, depending on if you've been around for less than a year. So I actually show you how to do the calculation in that video. And that's a great question. So I appreciate great questions. Where are we at? All right. So guys, definitely smash the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We need it. Small business set aside. This is for vent cleaning. This is due August 22nd in a week. This is back to the Air Force, Air Education and Training Command, small business set aside, 561,790. Okay, so this is it's Lackland. So JBSA Randolph has a requirement for vent cleaning. The contractor shall provide all labor, tools, equipment necessary to clean the external HVAC ceiling supply, return vents, indoor roofing. Okay. Just one-time cleaning, dusting of the R&D fitness center vents. That's all we ask. Statement of work, wage determination, picture. Ooh, let's look at the picture. Okay, so they need someone to get on a ladder, clean these bad boys. You nailed it, Kelvin. Long story short, after 2-year non-compete, well, actually, during the 2-year non-compete, I started this, and I never looked back. That's it. That's my story. So they have lots of things, and the guy doing a bicep curl. Probably won't be a huge contract, but could be a good contract. Might be too small for some to go after. Woohoo, we just reached 40 people hanging out with us live today. Let's go. Yeah, that damn devil. Devil is busy. You're blessed. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've grown a lot personally over the last 1.5 years, in particular, not only is being a bit of a more public figure, I won't say a public figure, but a more public figure online for the whole world to see and to scrutinize has definitely tested me. It's definitely challenged me, but I'm proud to say that I'm still alive and kicking, and it's made me, it's a journey, right? So who I've become as a person, I'm proud of. And I also wouldn't become it without going through those kind of trials and tribulations, if you will. And I'm excited about the future. Very, very excited. And I hope you are too. So we just have one pricing claim, one each, as they told us. Claim the events. Give us your company information. Small business set aside. Firm fixed price award based on the lowest fair and reasonable price. Because, it's kind of hard to mess this one up. So they're going to go lowest reasonable price. They are saying it's best value, though. They're going to go pass fail on. See, this is an instance where they actually do just, capability statement to pass the technical factor, include basically a tailored conforming CAPE statement in accordance with the statement of work, along with your price. Crazy, simple response. Will or will not. Maybe one of you guys will bid on this. Will one of you guys do this? And then let me know if you won. Give me credit if you win. It's due in a week. You got a week. Vent cleaning. And it's for the Air Force. So if you just search vent cleaning, or you search 561-790, you should be able to find it. Will one of you guys bid on this one? It's almost too easy. It's going to be small. It's definitely going to be small, but the proposal part is not going to take more than less than a day. And I just have a feeling that not a lot of people are going to bid on it. So that's why I'm saying it. Yes, the full live stream will be available for replay as soon as we wrap up, which we're going to do now. So, guys, thank you for hanging out. It means so much for the special Sam Bids Live. I don't want to go too long and push my voice too long, but this has been great. This has been incredible. I hope a lot of you have subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, just jumping in before we wrap up, definitely subscribe so that you will get notified when we do the next live Sam Bids opportunity reading. And thank you all for hanging out. We answered a lot of questions today. Hope it was helpful. Congrats to those of you who have won some contracts. Let's go. And for those of you who are bidding contracts, fingers crossed, especially in this busy season, right? We're mid-August, peak premium time, contracts, awards being issued. Hopefully the contract fury comes and visits your email inbox this week so that when we do our next Sam Bids Live, you can jump back on and share the good news. So again, subscribe. Let's get that algorithm going in our favor, guys. Like the video. And until next time, you got this.